Hi, Mandy.
Hi,
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Good to hear. Good to hear. On a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the best, how are you feeling today?
Um, I think I might be a 3 or a 4 today.
Okay.
Yeah, I got the so-called flu shot, and then now my arm is hurting. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I got my flu shot last year. It was so bad.
Mm.
My family thought I was being dramatic, but I'm like, no, I can't move my arm. But I'm glad to hear you got the flu shot. Super
Yes.
important.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I saw this stuff that you were sending me. All of that is related to the activity you have to create, right?
The first two is for the early ed class, and then the other one with just two document, that's for the one due this Sunday.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, the other one's due this Sunday. The right one paragraph. That one's one paragraph about either topic.
But just so we're on the same. This is the one due Sunday, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yes. This one's just Sunday.
Okay. I'm gonna take a second to read through it. But while I read through it, feel free to tell me kind of like where you're at. I know yesterday we talked a little bit and you said that you hadn't been able to figure out an idea. Um, have you been able to figure an idea out since then?
Um, Not really, but like so-called this one was so-called based on the little discussion board we had the 2 weeks ago. That the first discussion board for the week 2,
Uh-huh.
it was this ideas for it. I still could have some, but I don't know like, if I was to choose it, how would I write it?
Got you. Okay. So you do have ideas. You're just not sure which one to go for.
Yeah, or like yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. So yeah, and I see what you mean. They said that here that it builds up top of each other. Uh, oh, okay. Um, have you been able to do these readings that they talk about that you need to
The
do?
readings, yeah, there's so-called like PDF versions of the reading. Yeah.
Okay, so you know what your professor is saying here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You only need to create one lesson topic. It must represent reciprocal TLU that focuses on speaking and listening. Therefore, it is not a vocabulary or grammar lesson for one. They keep saying alternative assessment. Do you know what that means?
Um, so-called I think was when I did it, it was like the whole assignment was like you creating a lesson with either the topic you choose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is where I'm going to try to understand what the assignment is asking. So let me know if I'm understanding wrong. So basically you have to come up with a lesson plan topic. You don't, that's the only thing, right? Like you're not making
the top, the paragraph is kind of like the intro-ish for it, so.
so like it would be something like topic, oh, it would be this. It would be this, right? This part of it?
Yeah, so-called that first page, this example have is so-called their little topic.
Okay, and this is what you would be turning in?
Just like, not a full page or like just a paragraph for it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So now, how about you tell me, what are the things that you put on the discussion board that asks you what possible topics could be? And like kind of what you were thinking about them when you put them on there.
Let me find that.
And you can feel free to share your screen too.
Yeah.
So I know what you're talking about.
Yes, yes.
And then we'll have, if this is okay with you, we'll have a conversation about what you were thinking and like try to see what could fit into the project with the future steps, and then go from there.
I send you the thing I wrote for my discussion board.
All right, cool. I'm gonna, oh yeah. Ooh, asking sales. Can you do me a favor, and can you
Yes.
kind of explain to me what TLU is?
It's the target language usage. Or like, yeah.
But like, what does that mean exactly? Like based on what you read, what does that mean?
So-called, it was, one of it, the so-called non-reciprocal or the reciprocal one is so-called they're communicating with each other, but like not really with their own language. Like it's their second language, the reciprocal. So
Okay, so,
they're trying to use their another language, not their home language, when doing this activities.
yeah. Thank you. So reciprocal means they're trying to use their second language, and non-reciprocal means they're trying to use their home language.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So it kind of sounds like on your discussion board post, you focused on like the person going out to do something, right? Like that's the activity you want them to do, going out and completing a task.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. And if we were to think, actually, okay, my question for you is, what about these?
Because so-called I have to choose either one of those activities I have, and then write about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So based on these, right?
And
let's talk
so-called
about
we'll create a lesson plan ish based on the activity.
Yeah, like that would be one of your next steps for this.
That's the part 2 of it.
Okay. So based on like, let's look at the 5 reciprocal feelings. If you were to turn any of these into a lesson, how would you see yourself doing that?
For the first 5?
Or actually, let's scale it back. Let's narrow it down first. Out of these first 5 here, which one calls your interest?
I think it's either the second one or the third one for the reciprocal.
Second one. I think so. So we're gonna highlight that. And can you correct me if I'm wrong, but for your assignments in the future, you're only choosing either a reciprocal TLU or a non-reciprocal TLU, right? Like it's only one of these ideas.
I think yeah, it is yeah, I think it was only just one.
Okay. So now let's look at the non. Oh, I'm sorry. Is it okay if I highlight this?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Okay. Now let's look at the 5 non-reciprocal TLU, right? Out of these 5 that you have written down, which ones draw your attention? What interests you the most?
Is that for my 5 non-reciprocal ones? Some of them are kind of like similar. Or like at least I see like 2 sets of them. There's like similar idea of like how the one getting the money and the candy kind of same similar idea. And then the one going like so-called exit the parking lot one, and then the toll booth and stuff. For those 5, they're somehow a little bit similar to each other in that.
They are similar. I could see that, right? Because like they're asking kind of like doing something similar
Yeah.
to each other. So if you were to ask, like, I know this is not like your final say, but if you had to go to a family and be like, hey, can you have your child do this for XYZ reason? Because I'm in class or whatever. Which one would you feel best asking them to do?
Maybe the one with the candy. The one called the candy one.
Okay, so we're gonna highlight that one. Okay. So now we narrowed it down to the 3 ideas, right? So we have to keep in mind though that this has to turn into a lesson plan.
Yes.
And you have to be able to clearly state the objectives, and you have to be able to give an assessment.
Yeah, and so I'm going to create a rubric for this too, for the assessment part.
So if we look at I don't want to totally destroy like whatever you have going on here. Is it okay if I copy this onto a document that we've already shared before?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Okay. Give me 1 second while I do that. I'm only here pretending this is my own document. I'm start copying and pasting stuff everywhere.
So cool. My professor, when he, I can show you my screen of what he gave me for the feedback on the discussion board.
Okay, that sounds good. If you want to share that with me, we can talk about that too.
Yeah, the part here, like the feedback for the discussion board 1 is what he said for the topics I had. It was mostly about the reciprocal ones.
I suggest you choose something with these topics. Some of these need a little bother. Oh, nice. See, so you did good, right? He likes your ideas, which means that if the professor is like, I'm sorry, your professor, do you know if they go by he or she?
It's a guy. It's an old man.
Okay. Because I never asked my teaching.
My Wi-Fi might be a little bad, so I didn't hear what you said earlier. My Wi-Fi went out for a little bit.
Oh, you're okay. So what I was just gonna say is that your professor will only okay ideas that he thinks will turn into a good project. So he kind of already told you what ideas would be best here. I don't know if you're okay with what he said, but essentially he's saying that the idea of like going to a doctor or interacting with salespeople would be probably the best ones because they're a little less specific. So the way that you can interact with these people or the child can interact with these people is a little bit more open. So it gives you more space to create a lesson, right?
Yes.
Because like if you're making a lesson about someone specifically interacting with someone in the deli, it limits you to the language that you would use in the deli. Whereas like if you're interacting with a salesperson, it could mean a lot of different things. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So my question for you now is, what do you think? Do you like these ideas that he kind of got from yours? Because it sounds like the main ideas he got were going to a doctor or interacting with salespeople.
Yeah, that's what I have. Yeah, that's the first one. The deli is the first one, and then the salesperson is the second one, and the doctor it was for recommendations to get how to get rid of a sore throat. That one's these are the first 3 reciprocal ones. These are the first 3 reciprocal ideas.
Okay. So it kind of sounds like it's these two, right? 2 and 3 from the 5, asking a salesperson and visiting the doctor.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So let's focus on these two. Are you okay with eliminating the getting a candy bar from a vending machine?
Yeah, okay. Mhm.
Okay. We're gonna take this off. So then we're gonna delete these because these are no go for us so far. Another question I have for you is, so these ideas eventually we'll have to do this to them, right? Develop a detailed lesson plan with clear objectives and purpose. And this one means you're making a rubric. Um, so in terms of a lesson plan, which one do you see yourself being able to turn into a lesson plan most effectively?
So-called last time around, I did something with like going to. Last time the one I had was like seeing a therapist.
Uh-huh.
That one somehow, he said that's a feedback. Who said mine last time was kind of complicated the way I had mine
Uh-huh.
because it was so called it's seeing a therapist, but like it was kind of the way it was writing it was kind of hard. The topic I had was hard to on it. It was kind of hard, so I think I need to try it to choose a easier topic of these two. If I
Okay.
Yeah.
So which one do you feel like would be easier for you to come up with a lesson plan, right?
Since last time was something like about like going to see doctor, that kind of was kind of hard. Maybe, um, maybe the salesperson one.
Sounds good. Yeah. And there's your idea, right? So now based on this idea, what do you have to do to answer the discussion board post?
The thing was so called kind of like the intro ish for the what's the topic, why I chose it and stuff like that.
Mm. So then, um,
Yeah, so far like what I had for my other one last time, it was like I wrote for the first paragraph part is like a summary of what it is, and then how people are gonna use their target language, the reciprocal target language, when
okay.
doing this activity.
So then you're saying the two main things are, how is language going to be used?
I can share you what I had last time with the art, the little essay I had for last time.
Sure.
I just sent it.
Sure. Sounds good. So in your assignment that you just shared with me, the way they would be using the reciprocal TLU is by talking to the therapist, right?
Yeah, the way I had my idea, and then that's how I made up the whole lesson plan-ish stuff, and then the rubric and everything. Right.
Um,
That how the doctor and the parent would talk to each other more than the student with the parent and stuff, and then maybe the teacher involvement too. They have to somehow involve everyone.
um, and that's what made it complicated, right? And that's what you're.
So-called he does want me to so-called somehow include everybody. The so-called the lesson plan is a teacher, and then yeah, the lesson plan is the teacher, and then the teacher is part of it too. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, it kind of sounds like and I guess summarize the activity that's going to take place. That's kind of what you were saying, right?
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah.
Okay. So, and this is kind of just to get your self-thinking for your paragraph before you write it. But I want you to take just a couple of seconds, and I'll be I don't know, probably working on some emails, my email inbox. I want you to take a couple of seconds, and you don't have to answer in full paragraphs or anything, but just make like little bullet points to these things. Like, how is it that that's going to be used, and like what kind of is the activity? And that way, when you leave, you just have to write it out in full sentences. Does that sound helpful?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So how much time do you want to give yourself to kind of brainstorm? 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
Maybe maybe 5 for now.
Okay. So I'm going to set my phone timer for 5 minutes. And in 5 minutes, I will check in on you, okay?
Yeah, okay.
There we go. Stop sharing. Oh, Mandy, I'm sorry. Do you have this? Oh, okay. I was like,
Yeah, I'm on it.
cool. Okay, that is time. Right. Oh, that's so cute. I like that idea a lot, actually. So you're like kind of imagining like a family trying this at home and they're pretending they're at a store.
Yeah, something like that. Because so-called I would need to have an activity too
Uh-huh.
for the lesson plan. So like maybe something like that. Yeah.
That's awesome. It sounds like a great idea. Okay, and do you feel confident to be able to write your discussion board post now?
Mm, yeah, I think I just need to add a little more. Than, yeah. hmm Yeah, for this one.
Yeah, more detail, but you kind of, I guess, like you're not lost anymore on what idea to do.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Cool. All right, so now I know you emailed me a couple other things. Do you want to check in on that?
Yeah, that one is so-called the another activity thing I need to do. This one is
Uh-huh.
for the other class, and that one I have to so-called it's the home language activity or a home learning activity. I have to
Yep.
create the activity for a family to do at home
Yeah.
with their child or student that they have to do at home, and then give me feedback on the activity of how it went at home.
Yeah. So, trying to find myself. Yeah, I'm looking at this. So I'm just like gonna go through
Yes.
the steps here and ask you questions just to see
Mm-hmm.
where you're at. Last time, is this the class that you already took? Or
No, it's the other one. The other one, the one that I'm doing the other paper for this Sunday one is the retaking. This is my first time taking this one.
oh, okay, okay. So I guess a good thing to check in on is like, do you know people that you could ask to be able to do this for you?
Um, so-called not kind of, yeah, kind of no, but didn't ask yet. So
Okay. As long as you think you have options, right? Because we don't want to wait till like your hands and find out that.
yeah, because I also would need to create the activity too.
Okay. So now, okay. State subject area or developmental domain very clearly and explicitly at the top after the topic of the activity. So my question for you too is he wants you to have like all this done on October 11th or by October 11th, right?
Yes. Uh-huh. Yes.
Okay.
This was
So do
so-called
you,
assigned last Wednesday when we were in person.
okay. Do you know what subject area or developmental domain you want to do?
Um, well, what I was thinking might be like either arts and craft or some science-ish kind of activity
Okay.
for it. And that's so-called the two activity you have to kind of like have a make a little connection to each. I have so-called make two activities and have very similar, have some connection to each.
Okay. Okay. So let's talk. Going to this one. I'm gonna delete this. Oh. So okay. So this activity should be just. So if you were to do like a science activity, like let's just brainstorm ideas. If you were to do like a science activity, what would it be related to? And do you know the age? Right? Because I guess if it's supposed to be developmentally appropriate, you gotta know what age you want to do it for.
So-called for the assignment, it can be either between those ages, three to 8.
So think about like what they're kind of learning of in science at that age. Does anything call your attention that you could make a lesson or activity about?
Who is like the so-called I have to like have a idea of what skill they're able to do at that certain age too,
Yeah,
and make the connection with the activity like that too.
yeah. So what skills do kids have at that age?
Uh, So-called like for my professor mentioned a lot about like those finger that skill that like the younger age they're still kind of developing those like of how they need to tie shoes
Oh,
for the younger ones.
yeah, hand motor.
That skill for the younger ones is what they're really need to improve on, kind of that skill, because most of them will be like wearing there's the strap shoes, the Velcro shoes, instead of like the sneakers with the tying shoes to tie their shoe, practice tying shoes.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, fine motor skills. I'm sorry, I had to Google it because I know what you were talking about too, but
Yeah.
developing fine motor skills. And you gave like a good example of, you know, I don't know, transitioning from.
Because so-called like for my brothers, one of them, he's in special ed, and then he have those the OT person. She helped like those therapy person. She helps him like with like the practicing other subjects, and tying shoe was one of them.
Yeah, yeah, because you have to be able to coordinate your finger movements, kind of like how your professor was saying.
Yeah, he was like when he did that, he was like in the young. He was in 3rd grade or something. Third, third, third or something. Like he was not like now. Like it was a few years ago. I think maybe before the pandemic time. So like he was in third or 2nd grade for that when that happened for him. Like with the
with the skill specifically.
Yeah.
So maybe you're thinking of making an activity for 2nd or 3rd graders.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, so we can put that here. So grade activity, grade for activity. Okay. And then let's go back to the skills. So we kind of got a grade band down, right?
Mm-hmm.
What other skills are happening at that time that you can think of?
Mm, for the second or third graders?
Yes. So far, what we're talking about.
So far, I think maybe there's some of them are still developing the reading skills. Because so-called one of my brother, he's in 6th grade, his reading level is still like at the 2nd grade level. The reading skills is not that well of like to the grade level at the moment. He's like way below for reading skills.
So maybe they're still developing like foundational reading skills.
Yeah, they're like not for some of them maybe still not able to really read yet.
So like sounding out words, right? I don't.
Because so-called when I was at the clinical, some of those students there, they weren't able to really read or write. For the one that I had was 2nd graders. Like one of the student that was at the little table that I was sitting, he wasn't really doing his assignments because he don't know how to spell words. Yeah, spelling was not really that well for him, so that's why he didn't really do the assignments. Was because of he can't really spell the words, and then the clinical teacher was saying, just try to sound it out, and then she'll try to help you.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
Yeah. So they're still actually. Sounding out words, letter sounds, maybe.
Yeah.
Come up with the example. Okay. Any other skill you can think of at this age that maybe we can incorporate to your activity?
I think at the moment is really those two. I think.
Okay. So you want an activity that's kind of like hands-on and something that helps with reading.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a start, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now we also kind of got to think of what subject it's going to be related to. So would you want, or I'll just put it at the top. I don't want, you don't have to do your, no, but you said you wanted to do art or science, right?
Yeah, somehow. Yeah.
So let's just talk about it. Nothing serious. If you were to do art, what kind of activities were you thinking of? It doesn't have to be like fun things, just like what are some general ideas about that subject?
I think like if so-called kind of connected with the shoe tying, so-called like maybe some kind of like little cardboard-ish thingy where they like can put the shoelace-ish piece of thread in it and then like do the motion of tying the shoe.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, something like that. Like or like make a little like with the cardboard, make it like a shoe or something, and then make the little hole punches of how the shoe looks, and then they have the little thread through it and make it tie the shoe.
Okay. Would you be able to connect any reading skills to this?
Or like for the reading one, maybe like see if there's a book about tying shoes or something.
Yeah,
If there is, and then like have the parent read the book to them, and then maybe do the activity after.
yeah.
That be the activity they do after reading the book.
Sounds like a fun. Mhm. That's cool. This is kind of a start. We know it's not exactly it because we have to keep in mind that it's going to turn into a project.
Yeah.
So we have like objective. Oh, sorry, something fell. Number one. It says you may address other areas of development there are. Okay, so we got to keep that in mind. If you were to do one about science based on the skills that we've talked about so far, what would you do?
For the science, maybe for the science, I think the activity I have in mind was like not really related to the skills we have here.
That's okay. Maybe we can tie it in if you would like.
Yeah.
What idea did you have?
Like, it was like kind of like make those little lava lamp-ish in the bottle with the Alka-Seltzer thingies. They put it in and stuff, and then with the oil and what the food coloring.
Uh,
Yeah.
Cool. And I think that maybe depending on it, you would be using fine motor skills. And maybe same thing. Maybe you could find a book about the science of a lava lamp, then they can try it. But I think you have a start, right? The thing that I will, because unfortunately attempt's over, but the one thing that I will say is like maybe a little bit more thought on this part that I highlighted. So you may address other areas of development that are enhanced or promoted as a result of the activity in your enhanced areas of rubric. Uh, let's look this together. This is the rubric that he's going to use for that.
Yeah, this is the rubric for the assignment.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay, yeah, so this is kind of like the last part. I know we didn't actually get through all of this in detail because we're just doing it. Yeah, this is kind of the only part that we didn't address while we were talking. So I would kind of like keep thinking about this part and seeing if we could make it tie in together. And then if you can, you can start actually like working on it, you know?
Yes.
Do you want to schedule a meeting next week just to touch base, or you're good to go?
For this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can meet next week.
All right. So let's schedule that before you go. One second. Um, I have so many tabs open. Give me. Oh. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Someone's birthday.
Mm.
It's someone who works in the office. It's their birthday today. Okay. Okay. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
I think I'm sharing the. Shoots. Okay. Where'd you go? I lost you. Okay, there we go. Okay. I am available Wednesday for whatever reason. It says that I'm not, but I am. So I'm free Wednesday. If you want to let me know if that's the day that you want to meet, I can look at my other calendar. This is the time that I'm free, Monday and Tuesday.
I'll choose Tuesday.
Tuesday? Okay. What time?
Maybe the 12:45 one.
Okay. Sounds good. And you want it to be Google Meet?
Yeah.
All right, we're all set. And before you go, are you doing anything fun this weekend?
I don't think so. Mostly just staying home, or mostly staying home.
That's okay. Mostly staying home too. Okay, I'll see you next week. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.